challenging things about staying in shape has got to be motivation. One thing that works for me is to vary when and where I work out. For example, one day I may work out in the morning at the health club, the next day at night at home. In today's home gym workout, I'll be taking you through an entire total body workout to get you in shape. Okay, now let's stretch out our foot. Again, seated, everything's seated. You don't need much space. Point that toe as hard as you can. Feel the stretch throughout the quad and the tibia and in the calves. Now bring the toes forward, stretching out the hamstring muscles. Feels great. Another variation is to point your toe inward, stretching out the muscles on the side of the lower leg, and point your toe out. Circles are fantastic to do, clockwise and counterclockwise. This is excellent if there are any tennis players out there to warm up the ankle. And to finish off your stretch, hold that knee right into the chest, keeping the back nice and straight. Sit up tall, feel the stretch throughout the glutes. And other side. Well, there you have it, Flexi-Peelers. Some relaxing stretches that you can do right at home or in the office. Cross training is a great way to provide your body and mind with an off-season change of pace. If you're not training for a particular sport, you can use cross-training as a method to add variety and more fun to your program. Be sure and check out my Aquaflex and Kiana metric segments too. Lower body power will be essential as you hit the hills on your bike. Our plyometric routine will concentrate on this area. To avoid hitting the wall before you get to the top of that hill, you'll need both lower body and ab strength. Your weight training program should focus on this. Cycling can be hard on the back. A post-stretching routine for the hamstrings and back will feel great and will also prevent injury. I'm constantly asked about whether it's better to use free weights or machines. One isn't necessarily better than the other, as there are pros and cons for both methods. Depending on your fitness level and your fitness goals, the following can help you decide what'll work best for you. On the positive side for free weights, they're more effective in developing the stabilization muscles because you control the weight through the entire motion in all directions. Basically, free weights produce overall muscular strength and more power. The disadvantages of free weights are when training alone, they can be dangerous. For example, if you get stuck and you need a spot. The advantages of machines are they're safer and easier, and there's not as much balance required because you follow the track of the machine. Certain machines are actually more effective in isolating muscles or muscle groups. The disadvantages of machines are you move through the predetermined path of the machine, making it virtually impossible to strengthen the stabilization muscles, which are the abdominals, the glutes, and the hamstrings. Most machines are built for the average-sized person, so that very short or very tall people will find it almost impossible to use the machines at all. Everyone wants stronger glutes. One of the most challenging areas to train are the glutes and the thighs. Today I'm going to show you how to tighten, lift, and strengthen this area, beginning with step-ups, finishing off with glute raises. This is, Kate calls them my Super Kiana exercises, but actually it's a modified leg lift for the glutes. You want to start off, abs tight, hips down, legs off of the bench, and just do a slight kick, isolating the upper glute, almost like you're in the pool, toes pointed. After you've done 25 reps of this, heels to the ground and up. Heels, inner heel, down. You're really isolating the upper glute. Sorry,
dropping them a little below the bench. Boy, it really tones the glutes.
It's similar to an isometric that we were showing you earlier for the lower back, like the hyperextension, but I really feel this in the upper glute area. It's a great finishing movement for your leg and glute workout. Don't forget, Flexi-Peelers, if you've taken time off from the gym or if you're just starting to work out, you may find that you get a little sore after your workouts. You can either take a day off and hit the gym hard the next day or train through the soreness. Training while you're sore won't increase or decrease the amount of soreness. However, keep in mind that you will be weaker and won't be able to lift as much weight. So don't get frustrated, a little soreness is normal. Have you ever heard the term opposites attract? Well, it's true in training. Today we'll be training opposing muscle groups, the chest and the back. Starting off with lat pull downs, moving on to the bench press, bent over rows, pec deck, seated rows, and shrugs. Strength gains are lost at a slower rate than they're gained. To prevent a major decrease, use a maintenance program where you decrease volume and frequency, but maintain intensity. Prior to an expected layoff, perform some high volume or high intensity cycles. Endurance gains, for all you runners out there, are more easily lost than strength gains. However, the same advice applies. Use a maintenance program where you cut back on volume and frequency, but maintain intensity. As with strength, you should also plan high volume or high intensity cycles prior to layoff. The rate at which people detrain is variable, but save yourself from major strength and endurance losses by going on a maintenance program or using a cross-training approach. Check out my favorite cross-training segments for some ideas. Training in the gym keeps you more focused than training at home. For example, there are no distractions such as telephones, household chores, children, or the refrigerator to sidetrack you. Today, Brad and I will be taking you through an entire abdominal workout to flatten and tone the upper, lower, and obliques. So, ladies, okay, I'm doing some oblique crunches for the side area of the abs. Crossing the ankle over the opposite knee, putting the right arm out for stability, and leading with the shoulder, keeping the hip and the pelvis open, trying to touch the shoulder to the opposite knee, but keeping it back.
The key point here is isolation. You'll notice Kiana's hitting it every time. When you start feeling it in the legs, you start feeling it up here, you're doing too many, okay? Isolation is big for this. And you'll know as well that you need to do your nutrition, good cardio program as well, then you'll see your abs.
You also want to make sure and try to think of bringing your body up in accordion fashion, chest to the hips, curling the trunk up. Okay, let's go on over here. You can do right at home watching Kiana's flex appeal. It's called the isometric hold. It's not as easy as it looks. You're contracting the abdominal muscles and holding. Now I have to tell you, this is a lot more difficult than doing the basic crunch because I'm contracting as hard as I can, lifting the shoulders up and release, and back up.
You'll notice here she's pumping the blood right in the abdomen. You'll see it volumized. You see it just come out there. Good stuff.
Okay, that feels good, I love it. Don't forget, flexipelers, it's important to incorporate structural exercises or exercises that strengthen more than one body part at the same time. Examples of these are squats or deadlifts. It's essential for sports as well, in addition to strength training. Before moving on to exercises that isolate, such as leg extensions or leg curls, make sure you start off with your squats, which are more basic. Reverse crunches. Okay, leg raises are also more advanced. You put your hands under your bottom and legs out.
People ask us how much cardio do you need to do in a day for it to be beneficial for you to see your abs. We like to recommend at least 20 minutes of a cardiovascular exercise would give you the benefit at least 3 days per week.
Another exercise to do here is the reverse crunch. Lifting the pelvis up, the hips up, and holding. It's a similar movement to the crunch where you're bringing the chest up in a reverse fashion.
As well, folks, you want to get a balanced diet as well. We can't emphasize that enough. Eat your carbohydrates in the morning, wean them off during the afternoon, and emphasize the protein intake during the afternoon. That'll give you a good balanced diet as well as a good workout regimen. Before you know it, you'll see the abs.
And last one. Okay, come on, Brad.